Hello everyone. This is Juju English, your English listening podcast, and welcome to the first episode. This podcast is for English learners, so if you're here to improve your English listening skills, this podcast is for you. My name is Juju, and I have been teaching English in South Korea for 6 years, so I have a lot of experience teaching English. I'm hoping to help you learn English by providing you with something cozy and interesting to listen to. I want to have my episodes based on a variety of topics. I hope that you can feel like you're listening to a friend through this podcast. As for me, I think listening is one of the most important things in learning a new language. It's how I started learning Korean. Before I ever came to Korea, I watched a lot of Korean dramas. I was very obsessed with K-dramas. Not only did it introduce me to Korean culture, but it helped me learn commonly used expressions, pronunciation, and intonation. I was watching so many Korean dramas that it came to the point that I was able to understand some Korean without reading any of the subtitles. So I'm hoping through this episode and through the future episodes, I can help you do the same thing. I became obsessed with the drama called She Was Pretty, 그녀 예뻤다, featuring Park Seo-joon and Hwang Jung-eun. I really loved this drama because it was very funny to me. It's actually one of the older dramas that Korea has produced, but it's still one of my favorite dramas. I really enjoyed the comedy and the acting. It was very fun for me, and so it was very easy for me to watch over and over again. I got to the point where I started watching the drama without subtitles. I would just listen to it as I was doing anything, as I was just doing homework or cleaning my room. I just would have it on in the background. This really helped me a lot. Not only was I learning about Korean culture, but I was learning how Koreans spoke Korean, the accent that they used. I became inspired to try and study Korean with books through watching dramas. I really wanted to learn more about the language and the culture. The books really helped me a lot. They helped glue things together for me. So I felt like I was being productive because I was studying, but also having fun because I was watching dramas. A lot of the books that I used to study Korean actually came from Talk to Me in Korean, a Korean language education organization, and it was very helpful for me. They also provided listening podcasts, Korean listening podcasts, and that was also helpful. But they were very short and they were mostly based about grammar. I didn't listen to too many of those because I lost interest in them pretty quickly. I moved to Korea in 2019, so right before COVID-19 happened. I moved in February of 2019, and I was very thankful that I had learned some Korean before I came to Korea. By knowing Korean, it helped me acclimate to my surroundings a little easier and have small conversations with people. I knew the basics of hello, goodbye, thank you, where's the bathroom, how much is this, things like that. So I could get around, but I wouldn't say I was fluent by any means at the time. But I felt I knew a lot more through watching and listening to dramas than just through educating myself through books. So I was always surrounded by English teachers, and they were foreigners like me, but we also had Korean teachers. However, they spoke English as well. And my boss spoke English to us as well. So we were speaking English all day long. In fact, we were not allowed to speak any Korean at all because we wanted to immerse our students in an English environment to help them learn English. So I kind of gave up on learning Korean because I thought, well, most of my time I'm not really using Korean and I'm not really allowed to use Korean, so I just gave up. However, I met my husband and I knew that I needed to speak Korean in order to speak to his family. My husband speaks English, so we communicated a lot through English. And again, I just felt like, well, if he can speak English, then I don't need to speak Korean. But I knew I needed to speak to his family in Korean. So I kind of wanted to learn Korean again. I eventually studied at a Korean language institution, and it helped me a lot. I studied for 1 year. I got to the 4th level out of 6 levels. And it was very good for me. However, they were very focused on reading and writing. Now, this can be helpful to learn a language, but it's not everything. In fact, I found it quite discouraging because my speaking skills were not very good. My reading and my writing skills were leveling up, but it was very hard for me to still communicate with people, especially my family. So I sort of gave up again. Then I found Korean listening podcasts. They were very different from the Talk to Me in Korean podcast. They were more cozy, more intimate, and they had interesting topics that kept me engaged and wanting to listen more. So that's why I actually wanted to do this. I wanted to have a sort of nice, cozy little podcast for English listeners, just like I had, that helped me feel inspired to keep learning and to keep progressing in a language that I am learning. I found that a lot of English podcasts like to focus on grammar or English idioms and expressions, which is fine, but sometimes those can turn into boring topics. They don't keep people engaged for very long. So I wanted to create something a little different and create a cozy environment for my English learner listeners. Now, the most important thing about these podcasts for me was that they included a script. Now, I will also be including a script in my episodes, so it will be linked down below in the description. Listening and reading the script together was what helped me the most. Of course, finding someone to talk to so that you can practice listening and speaking is the best way. But I know it's not easy for everyone, so that's why we have these episodes for you. I know for me, living in Korea, I am surrounded by Korean people, but it's not very easy for me to make friends. In fact, my MBTI is I. I'm very introverted, so I'm quite shy to talk to people and make friends. Now, Korean people are actually very friendly, but they're also a little shy too, especially with foreigners like me. So we kind of are shy of each other, and we are in this difficult situation of where we want to talk to each other, but we are very embarrassed. I also think listening to a language is a very natural way to learn a language. It's how we learned our mother tongue. As a baby, we didn't immediately learn how to read and write. We could barely even speak at all. We were just babbling. We listened first. That's how we learned. And I think that's how we should learn. Making mistakes is also part of the process. When we were children, we made many mistakes. For example, I know I would say "I sorry" instead of "I am sorry." But the most important thing is that communication was achieved. So as we listen to native speakers speak the language we're wanting to learn, we can learn to not make those mistakes. So don't worry too much about making mistakes. It's going to happen, but that's how you learn. You're also not going to have a wide set of vocabulary to choose from when you're speaking at first, and that's okay. As long as you have a simple set of words to choose from, you're going to be fine. Seeing how the mouth moves is also, I think, helpful, but I don't think it's necessary to learn a language. However, I wanted to upload these episodes with me talking so that you could see the shape of my mouth as I'm speaking. So I wouldn't say it's completely necessary to see how my mouth is moving as I'm speaking, but it can help some learners. So I have some tips on how you can best utilize this podcast, especially in the following episodes. First, turn off the subtitles. I know it's a little scary, but it's going to help you in the long run. Turn off the subtitles and try to listen to the episode naturally. Try to understand as much as you can. It's okay if you want to listen to the episode with subtitles first. I don't blame you. But it will help you if you turn them off. It's just what I recommend. Second, listen again, but this time follow along by reading the English script. You can find the script linked down below in the description box. You can download the script or you can print the script. However, I recommend printing the script and getting your highlighter and highlight the words that you don't know. Then, write down those words that you don't know on a separate piece of paper or a notebook and translate the words into your own language. That way you can understand what you are listening to. Learn from the words and try to memorize them. Think about their meanings and try to understand what you remember about the episode. Try to link ideas. Third, listen again, but this time, have your language's subtitles turned on. This way you can check your comprehension from the first time you listened to the episode to now. How well did you understand? If there was a misunderstanding, you can check it and review it. It will help you learn to not misunderstand something in the future. Next, read the script aloud. Practice as much as possible and listen to your pronunciation compared with mine. Finally, listen to the episode as many times as you can stand, until you feel like you can understand most of it, if not everything. Listen as you're doing the dishes, cleaning your room, going to work or school, things that don't require a lot of thought or effort, so that you can listen to the podcast effortlessly. This is exactly what I do to study Korean, and I think it's very helpful for me. To give you an example of my Korean these days, 예를 들면 말씀드리자면 제가 한국어를 할 때 이렇게 들립니다. 어때요? 나쁘지 않죠? 사실은 제 한국어를 말할 수 있지만 아직 멀었어요. 근데 노력하고 있습니다. 계속 노력할게요. So honestly, if I can do it, you can do it. So this is it for the first episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and I hope that you found it interesting and cozy. These were my tips for learning English, but I think you can use them to learn other languages as well. I'd like to get to know you in the comments. Comment down below a little bit about yourself and how long you've been learning English. Also, please leave any comments about any topics you'd like to hear covered in future episodes. I'm up for any suggestions that you have. In the next episode, I'm thinking of talking about movies. I love movies, so I think it's going to be a very interesting episode. I'm also thinking of making separate episodes for levels of beginner and intermediate. What do you think? In the beginner episode, I will speak more slowly and use more simple words, and it will be a little bit shorter. In the intermediate level, it will probably continue to be like this, at this speed and this vocabulary. So a little more advanced and natural. Please leave any questions you have in the comments and I'll do my best to reply. It'll also be good practice for you to write in English. For now, I'm only uploading my episodes to YouTube until I can figure out how to upload them to platforms such as Apple or Spotify. So I hope you understand that for now. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the future episode. Bye bye.